Superfly is a game published by Aiello as part of the Loki, which I think is a pun on Loki line or brand. Now it has its own icon. I know the first Loki games came out last year, were introduced at Gen Con last year. And for example, I played Little Town, which I like very much. And the idea, as was explained to me, is to have low-key games that gamers can use to introduce their children to basic concepts of gaming. Say Little Town, for example, was a worker placement that you can play with young children. And so that was the idea. I would say, boutique games for children with a little more ambition as you're training your young gamers to become, well, gamers. Superfly comes with some of the strangest game components I've ever seen. Hard plastic fly swatters with dice in them. What do people, I don't know, what do they take with their coffee to get these ideas? Each player takes one, and the point of the game is to kill flies and to score points by doing so. Each turn you shuffle, first you shuffle this deck of cards that have values between 1 and 6 and also different colors that indicate different suits. You will, after you shuffle the deck, you will draw a number of cards equal to the number of players plus 1. Say this would be for 2 players, but suppose we have 3 players, and so that's what it looks like. You put them in a line, you put them in any configuration where everybody can reach them, and they're sort of like different, sort of like a little far from one another. Each player takes their fly swatter and they shake it without looking at it. And then we count, and at the agreed on time, everybody hits a card. Now, if you're the only player that hit a card, bravo, you simply take the card and you add it to your personal set. If multiple players hit the same card, then the player with the highest number on their die wins. In this case, this player with the 3 wins. However, in either case, and actually I didn't check the result there, on the previous, on the previous roll, if any of the dice on a card has the same value as the value of the card, the fly is squished and removed from the game. No one gets it. So I guess you're trying to get them alive. Why is the fact that they're squished wrong? Why are you collecting flies anyway? It's weird. So there is also another rule that we never ever use. So take that into account in my review. If you think that totally distorts my review, oh my gosh, this game is amazing. If you play with that rule, then you're a play. The rule is that if the dice match, look at that, destiny. If the dice match on a card, the players with the matching die, on top of killing the fly, the player with the matching cards switch their hand of cards, the cards that they are collecting, the cards that will be scored at the end of the round. I never play with that rule because I play with children, and I don't like to see children rage quit or cry, because as they're working very hard to create a nice set of cards that they can score, then they tie and they need to give away their set of cards and get another one that may be not nearly as good. I don't get it. I don't see the purpose of that rule, of completely destroying any agency, any meaningful decision, any attempts of doing anything. And not just for children, even if I was playing with adults or any game, I don't like the fact that I'm building my set and then I randomly give it away to somebody. It just completely makes gameplay, well, irrelevant. Now, at the end of the... So, we continue like this and people will collect cards and cards will be destroyed and so on and so forth. There will be a point when a player will have 5 cards. At that point, that triggers the end of the round. There will be one more round in which the player with 5 cards doesn't play, but everybody else still has a chance of getting cards. So they play a bonus round, bonus turn, as we call it, as normal rules, just to give people that don't have 5 yet a chance of getting more. Because you may have huge difference. Somebody has 5, somebody has 0. When that bonus round is played, then players reveal their hand, that is the cards that they collected, and they score. You will get to score the total value of a set, and there are 3 possible sets that you can score. One is cards with the same value regardless of color. So for example, this is the set that I have in my hand, then I score 12 points because that is the biggest, best set that I have. Or you can score cards of the same color regardless of value. So this is the set that I have in my hand, then my biggest set is not same value, that would be 10 points, is same color, and so that would be 15 points. You can also, or you can score the biggest sets in your hand of cards that are all different value and all different colors. For example, I can try this one, same value, it's a 10, or I look at these, all different values, all different colors, and then I have 9, 11, 14. So look at your hand and you look at the best value set, either all the same value, all the same color, or all different. The player with the best score wins a victory point token, and then you play the next round, hitting more stuff until a player has collected 3 victory tokens, and the player wins the game and mercifully ends the game. So I really enjoyed Little Town, a previous game by Aiello that had this idea of giving you games that are playable by children but still have some meat on their bones. Superfly was a big disappointment just because Aiello had given me such high expectations before. I would say there's nothing wrong with it if you think of it as a typical commercial game, not as a hobby game for children of hobby gamers, but as the kind of like random game that you pick up at Target, Yeti on My Spaghetti, or Candyland even. Frankly, because I don't think that this game has a lot more meaningful choices than Candyland, especially if you play with the rule where you can set up your set and then somebody else gets it. What was with that? You know, maybe I misunderstood it, but I think I read it like 10 times because I couldn't believe it, and then I never play with it. So let me know what you think if you play with that rule. But even without that rule, the game just has no substance whatsoever. It's entirely luck because, I'm doing some deduction, I'm doing some bluffing. You think I'm gonna go for a certain card because you saw me put together that combo earlier, but then I'm gonna go for the other one. But then you squish the poor fly. And that's it. And some people squished all the flies, some people don't. And even the idea, I'm gonna try with different sets. I play several times, and my impression is if you get a 6 and a 5 in there, you're good. Because you get a 6 and a 5 of different colors, you have 11, and that's already very hard to beat. You're never gonna beat that with 4 3s of the same kind. You think, well, you could mathematically, but you're not gonna get that many cards, sets that complicated. It's gonna be very hard. Again, you have a 6 and a 5, and then any other card of any other color. So it seemed to me, from my experience, that going for the set with different numbers and colors and simply going for the 6s and the 5s is the best way to win. But you're thinking, but everybody does that. Yes, but we do it, and I roll higher than you, and so I get to do the best thing. So the problem that I have among other problems, I guess, is that the obvious choice is go for the highest card. Even if I don't want it, at least I don't want you to have it, so I'm gonna try to get it. But why wouldn't you want it? So go for the highest card, and again you say, but everybody will go for it. That's fine by me. If no one gets it, it's still better than if you get it. So there's really no reason for me not to go for the higher card most of the time. This being said, the 8-year-old daughter liked it because I guess we allowed her to hit stuff really hard and to shake this really noisy thing. So as a toy, it works as something that is just that silly because kids feel that they're doing something that usually is forbidden. We don't usually allow hitting the table. It comes up very often, but I don't see many other situation in which hitting stuff really works. I mean, sometimes I let my daughter go in the backyard and hit a tree with a lightsaber. She really enjoys that. Or I guess if it's raining, then she can hit the table with a fly swatter with a die in it. So, in the category of general commercial games, it fits in there in those kind of like, again, commercial games for children that don't have a lot of substance. They have gimmicky components and they allow kids to be loud and they like them. That's okay. But frankly, it's 2020. There are just so many great options for games that you can play with your children and are great games. I'm thinking of King of Tokyo. I'm thinking of Animix that they just reviewed and it's such a great game. So, and A Little Town by Yellow. So when I see Superfly, really it is a missed opportunity for me. Because retail stores are full of bad games for children. I don't see why a maker of excellent games for adults and for families has to be part of that. I don't know, that big plot, the big conspiracy to stultify America. But it looks like Aiello's doing that, at least with Superfly. I don't know if you got it, but I don't know if I was able to express my point or it was lost in nuance, but I really did enjoy it. But my daughter enjoyed it, so I hope she forgets about it so I don't have to play too much in the future.